Hi everyone, this video is going to cover the short story unit. So I got a little behind on making videos and I'm going to try and catch up here. I'm showing you several modules with this video, and so it might be just a little bit longer, but I'm going to try and talk you through what's going on with these new modules. So you just finished module 4, or should have. Hopefully most of you have started submitting your first short story to the short story workshop. This is first in the module series because I want you to submit a story and get some feedback and be able to make corrections to that story before actually submitting the story to me. So the idea with the workshop is that you'll be able to get some peer feedback. Now this only works if everyone actually submits a story. So I did post a reminder yesterday and I do need you guys to submit your story if you haven't, because otherwise your peers are just waiting on you to do that and they can't finish that module without it. So make sure that you are doing that. Now I do in the self-assessment quiz, I changed the question, the true false, to just the ones that have been submitted. So if somebody waits until the end of the semester to submit their short story to you, then don't worry about it, because it's on them to get their story submitted to you so that you can provide feedback. Now if it gets, we're a couple of weeks from now and we're about done with the short story unit and you haven't been able to respond to anyone, send me an email because I'll just give you a new person to respond to. That way you get that practice. So this is what the modules look like. Obviously module 4, the short story workshop, is a little confusing because we're using the Canvas peer editing tool, and it's for when you have first done this. If you haven't done it before, then it can be a little confusing. So there is a step-by-step guide that I've posted here. Basically, you'll have once somebody who you're assigned to gives you the story, then they'll show up on the side here. You'll click on them and then you'll be able to see their file will pop up here, and then you'll see a little tiny view feedback, and you'll then be able to expand it into the doc viewer. And that is where you get all the revision tools so that you can put in annotated comments like the instructor does. So if you've seen instructor feedback on your written assignments and the little annotation bubbles, that's what yours will look like to your peer. What's nice about Canvas is it keeps track of who does what comments. So if that same file might get comments from another student, because you all have 3 students who have been assigned to you. So you may get feedback from multiple people and you'll be able to see who has posted what. You'll also have access to the rubric that you will fill out. And this rubric is pretty simple. It's either it needs improvement or there are no issues. If there's no issues, for example, with the beginning, then you'll just put no issues. If there's something that needs improving, then you can type in your written feedback. So this is where the written feedback goes if it's not something specific that you're pointing out with the editing tool. So for this module, that self-assessment quiz, you may not be able to complete that for a little while, which I realize for those of you who are a little obsessive with keeping everything going down the line and checking it all, that might be frustration for you. And I may have to change the way I do the workshop for the next one because of it, because nobody submitted their stories before even the end of the module. So once you have done that and gotten some feedback, then you're ready to take that story that you worked on and create your final draft version. In the meantime, you should also be working on the other 2 stories. So there are 3 stories that you are submitting in the short story unit. And that spans several modules. I just have them divided out into separate modules for turning in. So when you are working on the point of view story, then you can look in module 5. I have a few things linked in here, just some additional further information for you to help out with writing these stories. You can write them in any order, and once you have submitted the story, then that's when you can do the self-assessment quiz. So the self-assessment quiz for module 7, module 6, and module 5 are all specific to the story that you turn in. So don't do them until after you submit the story. Some of you are doing these self-assessment quizzes and haven't done any of the work yet. So remember that you can't do that. I'll have to go in and zero out your grade if you do that. So make sure that you're actually doing the work before you assess it. And I've also linked this journal in here. I keep forgetting to link the journal in there. The journal, you should be doing 1 or 2 entries per module just to keep on track of it. Otherwise, you're going to be doing a lot of work at the end of the semester. So just kind of keep that in mind. So it's fairly simple what you're doing, looking through this information related to the story. I would recommend writing the stories in the order that I have them listed in the modules, because I feel like the point of view story is the easiest of the 3 to write, and then the characters is a little bit easier. The character short story is a little bit easier than the energy short story is probably the hardest one. However, that's just me. So you may disagree and decide that or you may have a really good idea for the energy short story and want to work on that one first, and that is completely fine. So now all of the modules are open and you can work on them in whatever order you want. The big thing is, though, by March 6th, you need to have all those short stories turned in, because if not, we are moving on to poetry and you're going to be lost at that point. So make sure that you're getting all of those short stories done by the end. The rest of these are just their suggested due dates, just to keep track for yourself on whether you're getting work done in a timely manner. Otherwise, you're going to have too much stuff to do at the end of the semester and you're not going to be successful in the class. So just kind of keep that in mind. Those temporary dates, or they're tentative, are set for you as suggestions, but it's really important that you do keep on track of them. The other reason is because I can't give you feedback on it until you submit it. And so, if you don't submit any short stories until March 6th and you submit all 3 of them at once, you don't have any room to improve, because all the comments and feedback I give you are not going to help you with that essay, or with those stories. So keep that in mind. You want to be submitting a story so that I can give you feedback so you can improve on the next story. That's the whole purpose of having it divided out like this. So that's what we're working on right now. If you have questions, feel free to email me, especially if it's a specific question about one of your stories. You definitely can send me a draft or something if you're lost or confused. I haven't heard a whole lot from any of you other than a few questions about that workshop assignment. And so if you're struggling, this is the time to reach out. Don't wait a couple of weeks, and then you'll be even further behind and it will be even harder for me to help you. So hopefully you're doing well, and I will see you later.